Welcome to another weekly outlook video. So we are going to start with DXY, which is the dollar index. And DXY, we've been looking at this monthly fair value gap as a potential place that price could be headed to. And last week, this is actually what we had last week. I was expecting that price will tag this weekly fair value gap, and then we continue with the bullish move. And as you can see, this week that just ended, price tagged the weekly fair value gap, and and this is what we had. So now I'm still anticipating that now this will act as support to push price higher. So the lower time frame of the weekly is the 4 hour. So remember, when price tags your higher time frame key level and closes, which in this case last week that tagged the fair value gap. Now we can move to the lower time frame, which is the 4 hour. So on the 4 hour, which is the lower time frame, so what are some of the things that we look for? We look for liquidity sweep. All these lows has been swept, so this is liquidity sweep here. We have that liquidity sweep. And then we get market structure shift here. Yeah, so this is a confirmation that price could be respecting this weekly fair value gap, and we should be anticipating bullish moves. So on the daily, we have this fair value gap here, and also we have this fair value gap here. So if this market is, of course, going to be bearish, then we will anticipate that price might get to this fair value gap, and then maybe we now uh, have a bearish move. But my high probability is bullish. So I'm expecting that this weekly fair value gap has acted as support for price and should push price higher. But remember, do not marry a bias. Just watch what the market is showing you and work with what the market is giving you. So let's look at GBPUSD, and we can start with the monthly time frame. And of course, this is the order block that was tagged. I'm still anticipating that price might come to this fair value gap here. I'm anticipating that finally this is the long-term draw for price before we continue with the bullish move. So on the weekly time frame, we have this fair value gap here. You can see last week price tagged it, and we got this rejection. So I'm anticipating that we should now see bearish moves for GBP USD. And yeah, so that will be well with DXY, because DXY, if we're expecting bullish moves, GBP USD, we should be anticipating bearish moves because they are negatively correlated. So the daily, this is what you have. You can see we tagged this weekly fair value gap, and then we got these bearish moves. So now we have an order block here. I'm anticipating that price we might retrace to this order block, then we continue with the bearish move. Before I proceed, if you find these videos informative and you want to see more of such videos, kindly subscribe to this channel, and also don't forget to like the videos. So GBP USD and Euro USD, we have SMT here, these highs here. Euro USD took out these highs, while GBP USD failed to take out some these highs and these highs here. And remember, SMT is confluence to add for smart money reversals. So Euro USD and GBP USD, if you've noticed, Euro USD has been more bullish compared to GBP USD. But if once this month closes, we are going to have a fair value gap here, which is good. This fair value gap is below price, so which means we'll be anticipating that Euro USD we are going to get this bearish move, which will now be in alignment with the GBP USD bearish move to the monthly fair value gap. So that's a good thing. So finally, they'll still be in correlation, because remember, these pairs are positively correlated. We always want to see them moving together. So weekly Euro USD, you can see we have this fair value gap here, and Euro USD inverted this fair value gap. Because Euro USD is really bullish, I'm anticipating that we might take out this high before we continue with the bearish move, or Euro USD might come for these highs here towards now this monthly fair value gap, which of course by the end of this month, which is on Thursday, will have been finally fully formed. So if you look at the daily, the price might just at this point decide to just continue going bearish without even taking out these highs. That is still another possibility. So let's look at yen pairs. And last week, this is what we're anticipating. We wanted to see price tag this weekly fair value gap before we continue with the bearish move. And this is exactly what price did with the week that just closed. We have tagged the weekly fair value gap, and it was rejected by price. So we are anticipating that you're going to get the bearish price move to these lows here. We also have these lows here. So let's look at the daily. And as you can see, actually last week, yen pairs, there was a lot of consolidation. We didn't see a lot of expansion. Price was literally consolidating. And we are hoping that this week we might get some expansions. This is the yen basket. So which means CADJPY, AUDJPY, GBPJPY, EURUSD, and USDJPY, we should be anticipating the opposite, which means we should be anticipating bullish price action because they are negatively correlated with the yen basket. So let's look at CADJPY, and as you can see, our previous weekly outlook, we're expecting that price will tag this weekly fair value gap, and then we see a bullish move. And you can see last week, that's exactly what price did. We tagged this weekly fair value gap. So we're anticipating that now we should see bullish price action for CADJPY. So let's look at AUDJPY, starting from the weekly again. Our last weekly outlook, we were expecting that price will tag this weekly fair value gap, and then we see a bullish move. And that is exactly what price did this week that just ended. We tagged the weekly fair value gap. So still I'm anticipating that now this should act as support for price and push price higher. So let's look at USDJPY. Again, USDJPY, our previous weekly outlook, we're expecting that price will tag this weekly fair value gap. Then we get a bullish move, and that is exactly what price did last week. We tagged this weekly fair value gap and rejected it and even closed above it. So I'm anticipating that this week we should see bullish price action, and this should act as support for price. So let's look at gold, and we can start with the weekly time frame, and you can see price, we took out this high here, and we closed here below. So on the daily time frame, we inverted this daily fair value gap here. So I'm anticipating that price might retrace to this inversion fair value gap, and then we continue with the bearish move, or we might even fail to get to this inversion fair value gap, but we continue with the bearish move. So I'm looking at gold as bearish, and I'm looking at these sell side liquidities. All these sell side liquidities are potential place for price to go to. But in case price violates this inversion fair value gap and we close above it, then that would mean that we are having a bullish move. But as of now, where price is and what I can see, this market is this pair is bearish. So let's look at NAS 100, and our weekly outlook. Last week we were anticipating that price will retrace to this daily fair value gap, and then we get a bullish move, and as you can see, that is exactly what price did. So where price is right now, I can see we have this order block here. So on the weekly, we have this fair value gap. So also there's a possibility that price might we might retrace to this weekly fair value gap before we continue with the bullish move, or we might get a reversal. We don't know yet, but for now, I'm watching this weekly fair value gap as potential place price might get to. And if you look at the monthly, you can see, so we have 4 days left before this month comes to an end, and then we open another monthly candle, or we start another month, which is August. And you can see we have this fair value gap that is forming here. Once this month closes, now we might see bearish moves as price retraces to this monthly fair value gap. But as of now, let's just work with what the market is giving us.